All right, gang, welcome back. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a new layer, and we're still building in the base areas here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to call this layer 5, and we're going to rename this. We're going to call this the river. All right, perfect. Now, in order to draw the river, we're going to go ahead, and we can't really use primitives for this. This is just easier to do with a paintbrush. So we're going to grab the round brush. We're going to then grab a color of blue, let's say. And let's go ahead and make it a little bit lighter. And right about there. And let's go ahead and put that in there. All right, now on this one here, we make sure we're on our river layer. And now, beginning at this area, we come through and we work through the perspective again. Remember, with perspective, as the object decreases in view, it gets narrower, so this right here is going to expand out. Okay, and then we're going to flood fill it. Oops. So I could go through and diagnose what area this line isn't solid. It's just going to be easier to flood fill it this way. Okay, now the nice thing is that if you go off the line like this, pretty simple to come back, right? Just grab your eraser tool, zoom in, turn your canvas, and bring your line right back to here. All right. All right. Good deal. So we've got the basis of this. Now, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add in the moon. So again, how do you add in the moon, folks? Create a new layer. Call it moon. All right. Let's grab our shape tool, shape brushes. Come down to the circle brush. Crank that bad boy up a little bit, making sure we're on that layer. And we're going to go off kind of a quasi-white, probably close to white. All right. And let's go ahead and place the moon up in there. That's a good size. And then let's flood fill that bad boy. All right. Perfect. Now, so we've got all of our base level images in there. Now what we've got to do is we've got to duplicate out the layers. Duplicate, duplicate. Okay, and then let's go ahead and move them into position. So we're going to go ahead and move this one over here. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab this guy. Oops, let's not put a circle there. We're going to move that guy over. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead. Remember, as things decrease into the background, you get a little bit smaller. So we've got to balance the size of these things out in order to pull off this Flatscape effect. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and increase this guy. All right, cool. Now let me show you something here. Once you're happy with the size of these mountains, so we're happy with the size of these mountains as they sit. Let's go this route. I want to obscure the moon just slightly. Here's one thing that you can do. You can grab your farthest most mountain. So in order to confirm that, make sure you've got your farthest most mountain selected. Grab the adjustment, and now darken that bad boy down. Now you see how one is in front of the other? That's not good. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to move that dark mountain to the back. Perfect. Things that are in the background are smaller and also more dimly lit. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move my moon layer down below my first mountain so that that's there. And now I'm going to use an adjustment. So stay with me. I'm going to employ Gaussian blur. So I change the Gaussian blur out. And you see that this adds a different level of, let's say, interest to it because everything else is very clean and crisp. That's going to introduce a different level to that particular moon. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the tree And we're going to duplicate the tree about 6 times. 4 and 5. All right, we got about 6 trees, give or take. All right, so first thing we do, let's go ahead and move the trees over where the trees need to be. And again, trees that are closer to the foreground are bigger. You want to break up the monotony of the scene, though. So you see how I moved one tree off? Okay, so we'll bring that down just like that. That's kind of going to be in the middle ground there. Then we go here, and we move this guy down, 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 down to the back. Okay, we're going to move that guy just a little bit more here. Break out some of this monotony. All right, cool. Now we're going to move this guy. Let's move him closer up here. Bring that guy much closer. And that leaves us with the last lonely original tree, which then is going to go over here. Which then leaves us with this guy. He's going to be way out there in the back. Way, way, way out there in the back. Okay, so now I'm going to grab the same HSL adjustment, and I'm going to go ahead and turn down the trees that are in the background. All right, you see how we're adding a lick of perspective to this thing, and we haven't really even done anything with it? So one of the things that I'm really interested in here, I think that this mountain probably needs an adjustment as well. Oh, that's a recolor adjustment. All right, perfect. Because you see the mountain closest to the moon is probably going to have the most light. So the name of the game on this one is to then take your initial shapes, break them out, figure out what is in front of what, arrange your layer structures so that it's easy to see, and then apply a very simple technique that the things in the back are darker. So go ahead, take this step, and then what we're going to do, we're going to move into the next step of detailing some of this out and getting some really cool textures on it. All right, folks, we'll see you in the next one.